We're finally taking the steps to get these shear bumpers permanently installed, but the prep work has to be perfect. I'm trying a few new structural techniques today to ensure those bonds never fail. But to get there, I got to deal with the fallout from that peel ply mistake, and I might have found a cheat code to make that fairing process a whole lot easier. Is it cheating or is it just fair? Let's get into it. Well, it's always fun to take out a grinder and just start grinding on something that you're trying to create. We'll explain it. But I've dropped this piece of tape here on the hull side, and I've come back and I've ground back down to the fiberglass all the way down. I'll show you a picture here. I'm going to put some blocks in here. And all of this is in an effort to try and get this first shear bumper to set in here perpendicular with the deck. So it'll be just under the deck height. I may even show you a drawing here. So I'm going to bond those blocks in there, then I'm going to trim them back, then we'll put the first layer of shear bumper, the second layer, the third, and then the fourth, and then you'll see where the deck will land and all this to finish it up. Well, I don't know if you can see this, but like on these little small pieces, almost like putting in the little deck braces. Kind of the method that I use is just with this little scraper, just kind of put it on there. Let me see if I can turn. And I just hold it at an angle, pull it across, because it doesn't take a whole lot, and I just kind of put a little V right there in the middle. And then whenever you get ready, you're able to put that on there, because you don't need a ton of it. And I'll also show you a little tip for a little small notch trowel. Here's a little tip. This is just a little piece of a plastic spreader that I cut off, and I need a pretty small little I don't know, something to put that epoxy on. So these are just some pinking shears. I'd used these before. Just take one little cut and you got a nice little ridge right there. It's a little bit hectic, but these are all of my little blocks. There's 20 of them to go down this port side, and they're all numbered, and I have them all in order the way that they go. These front ones I had to put screws in just because of the way the angle and all that was. They won't fit, so just got them on this board right here that's got some tape on it just in case, and I just wanted to put some neat epoxy, and I used some medium hardener on that so it would go ahead. I just wanted to go ahead and saturate this end grain. Now I'm gonna make some thickened epoxy and start applying these. So you can see this is some pretty good wood. It's got some pretty tight little grain there to it, and I've already talked about that's the same wood that we're going to be using on these shear bumpers. And I've showed you how I put the epoxy onto the little blocks, and I've got them spaced out. I've got them marked. I'm putting them every 12 inches. And once again, these are flush with the hull, so they're actually all angled. They're gonna be 90-degree angled to where whatever the angle of the hull is. I've been very concerned about how to get that first bumper to lay flush and also be flat at the top to be able to receive the deck. And this was kind of the best technique that I could come up with. And I've seen some hints and glances of other stuff kind of like this. But I'm trying to stick to as close to the plans as I can and not get too far off the reservation. But I needed something to help solve this problem, and this is what I came up with. If you have any other ideas or any other things that you've used that would be good to use in this case, drop a comment below. Here's just a little description of the technique here. So I grew up around skill saws. So kind of the tip is that you want to set your blade as deep as you can so that you have as much saw blade as you can. And you can almost just kind of push that saw blade up against the edge of the boat there. Really the only risk you're going to run into is the kerf of your blade, and this is a little bitty small blade. The risk is, a little bit of the kerf of your blade might touch the boat, but once again, all that'll get filled with a fillet in the end. But once you hold that blade there, and you'll actually see in some of the later pictures, you'll see how there's red marks where I hold the blade up against the hull. You just hold it, The biggest thing is to keep that saw perpendicular to what you cut. See here how deep that blade is compared to what I'm cutting. But like I said, you just kind of apply a little lateral pressure to the side and it'll stay right against the hole. You can see that now this is perpendicular to the surface up there. So all the way around, it's going to give me a landing post to be able to land that first little shear bumper all the way down. And you can see when you get back here, it's just a barely a little wedge, but still it gives me a flat surface to be able to clamp to. And then today I was able to come in and pull it all the way across. I stopped right here because I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna 45 off right here when I land that shear bumper on the back, because you don't really need a big bumper on the back. But I got everything done on this side. Got all the clamps going all the way down again. And the same thing, you can see they're all perpendicular. They're just flush against there now. And I just run my skill saw down through there. And now that I got all that other side clamped up, just because I'm gonna be waiting on that, I got about another hour, maybe an hour and a half. I'm gonna jump in here, find my friend the Longboard, and we're gonna start sanding away. So longboarding is where you find the truth. So when you put this fairing compound on there, you can see it's all the same color, but then any portions that get sanded hard or get sanded back, which would be your peaks, they turn really, really white, as you can see. And then the darker areas, that's the areas that the sandpaper is not coming in contact with or not contacting as hard. And you can really see there when I vacuum and get the dust off of it, you can really see the contrast. So this is where longboarding really makes a difference. And if you skip this step and you go straight to paint, you're going to see every wave, every bump, every undulation, everything. Now on the sides, there's actually going to be probably some decking or something like that. But on the forward and the aft bulkhead, you're going to be able to see that. It's just going to be a painted surface. So if we skip this step, it's actually going to show every undulation and every imperfection. So we want it to look really smooth. Yes, that's a random orbital that I'm holding. Just hold your horses. I'm not taking shortcuts here. Just bear with me a little while. We'll have a nice little chat. And we'll figure out what this is all about. Man, that was easy. Some of you might think I was cheating by using that RO, that random orbital sander, on the floor and on that side. You're right, I was cheating. You can see all these little high points. Hopefully you can see I was moving really fast. That was 60 grit on there. So all I'm trying to do is, I was trying to just knock as much of that high stuff down. That's just that much less work that I'm gonna have to do with this longboard. But I'm about to get in here and see if that makes it better. I can't imagine that's not gonna make it easier. So we're gonna see how it works right here. All right, so the first round of fairing, what we're primarily doing here is we're fixing all the structural stuff, leveling all the overlaps of the fiberglass, and then we're gonna move on to the next step where we're actually getting things smooth as they can be. All right, to answer the question, was that cheating? No, that was freaking smart. Man, by using that 60 grit to just knock down all those high points, I was able to do this whole thing here with about 3 breaks, which is unreal. So you'll see me use that going forward. You know, it's still got lots of issues, but it's freaking done. That's round one. I still have this. I didn't want to get over there and bang my head up in those clamps. So I did come back in the interim, and I actually got back on the longboard and I hit every surface again, which is why you may see it looks a little bit different here. And what I'm doing right now is taking that denatured alcohol and cleaning the surface. Make sure you vacuum, get all that stuff up before you put any more fairing compound, epoxy, or anything like that. You got to have a clean surface for things to bond properly. But I did come back, and you can see, as white as it is, it really doesn't look all that bad for it to be just the first go. But this is pulling the second one, and you'll see, like I said earlier, the white spots are the ones that are actually sanded. Those are the high points. And all we're trying to do now is bring up the low points, and then hopefully the next round it'll sand and it'll all be white, you know, it'll all be light, so to speak. So that's what we're doing here, is I'm just trying to focus, especially on the sides. And you can see in this area here, this is where I actually slowed down and kind of showed you my technique, and you could see how when we were pulling that compound and we talked about it was a good run, how it primarily came out all white there on that side. And now here, as we transition to the floor came out and it felt a whole lot better. I went back in, like I said, and hit it really well again with the longboard. I didn't video that. It's kind of looks the same as what we did before. But you can see here I'm actually going to cover the whole floor with just a very, very thin layer, as thin as I can get. And I mean, I'm basically putting it on and almost scraping it all off, especially right there behind where the console will be. That floor is really smooth, so I'm pretty excited to see what happens when we get to the next part of sanding and we're able to sand this back. You all know how much I've been wanting to get this bilge finished now for probably about 2 years. So every chance I get now, I'm trying to jump in there and get it taken care of. So hopefully by the time we sand this out, this time it'll be done. The corners and all I really focused on, and I took a slower pace at it rather than just slopping stuff all over the place. So it's probably going to take it a couple of days, as cool as it is. But there's the bilge, and we'll see what happens with it. Well, I got it back in fairing compound, and I did a better job of putting it on. I'm still learning. You know, these white places, there's really no need to put anything there, so I tried to just focus on that. The floor, I think, is going to be a whole lot better. I think I screwed up on that side over there a little bit. But all in all, I think it's going to be much better. I might have to come back and tune it up one more time, but that's going to be, you know, it's not the outside of the hull, but it should be right after that next go-round. Then we'll put some high build on it, or super build. Well, here's a little glance into the future of how those little landing pads and all worked out as we got that first layer of shear bumper clamped up. So we'll cover that as we move forward.